Mark Twain wrote 3 stories that he claimed were told to him by a pleasant New York gentleman named Mr. McWilliams, who he met on a journey. But I wonder if these stories are Twain's way of paying homage to a man named John McWilliams and his wife Esther. When Twain worked at the Buffalo Express, he stayed at a boarding house and became good friends with John and Esther during that time. This is called the experience of the McWilliamses with Membraneous Coup. Back at a time when New York was being ravaged by Membraneous Coup and driving mothers mad with fear, I noted that my wife, Mrs. McWilliams, was allowing our little daughter Penelope to chew on a pine stick. I said, "You really shouldn't do that."
"Where's the harm in it, precious?"
she replied, although she did take the stick away. "Love, you should know that pine is the least nutritious wood that a child can eat."
"Hubby, you know better than that. You know you do. All the doctors say that the turpentine in pine wood is good for a weak back and kidneys."
Sweetheart, I have no idea little Penelope had kidney and spine problems.
Who said she was having such problems?
My love, you just did.
I never said anything of the kind. And anyway, there isn't any harm in letting her chew on a bit of pine stick.
At this, she gave the stick back to little Penelope. "Ah, I see the force of your argument, dearest. I shall go and order 3 cords of the best pine wood today. No child of mine shall go hungry for lack of turpentine."
"Stop it right now. Go to your office and leave me in peace."
At this, she grabbed the child and bustled off with a flourish. That evening at dinner, she confronted me with a face white as a sheet.
"Another boy in the neighborhood is stricken. Little Georgie Gordon is taken with the membranous croup. There's no hope for him at all. And Penelope played with him last week. I'm sending out for the doctor this very minute."
That evening, as our little Penelope was saying her prayers right in the middle of "Now I lay me down to sleep," she gave a slight cough. My wife fell back as if struck by death itself. She commanded that I move the crib to our room, and she oversaw the process just to make sure I had done it correctly. But once there, my wife said we were too far away from the other baby, and what if he were to have symptoms in the night? So the crib went back into the nursery, and we put up a cot for ourselves in the adjoining room. But then, what if the boy should catch the dreaded membranous croup from Penelope? So the crib came out of the nursery again and was installed beside the cot. Later on that evening, Mrs. McWilliams slipped into the nursery once again and came back with a new dread.
"The baby is sleeping the sleep of the dead. His breathing is so regular. What could possibly make him sleep so soundly?"
"The baby always sleeps like a graven image."
"I know, but somehow this time there's something frightful about it. Do you think we should call the doctor again?"
"No, dear, I think he'll be just fine. Now come back to bed." At that moment, Penelope coughed twice in her sleep.
"Where is that doctor? He should be here by now, Mortimer. It's too warm for the poor sick child. Please, turn off the register and check on the doctor."
I got up wearily, preparing to go out and into the cold night and track down the doctor, but there was a message on the door from the coachman. The doctor had taken ill and was confined to his bed, but he had sent medicine. When I took the medicine up to my wife, she cried,
"Why would he send medicine when he knows the disease is incurable? He must have sent it just to make us feel better. He's only giving us some hope for a few precious moments. This must mean the poor thing doesn't stand a chance.
Why, dear, perhaps a little might help. It says a tablespoon.
Oh, what do you know about nursing a sick child, Mortimer? Come here, Penelope, dear. Here, have a spoonful of this. It'll help you sleep. Put your head on Mother's breast and go to sleep. There now. Oh, Mortimer, the poor thing can't live through the night. She needs another tablespoonful. And she needs belladonna, too. I know she does. And aconite. Bring the goose grease as well. Do it, Mortimer. Let me do it my way. You know nothing of such things.
I brought the array of remedies she requested and fell immediately back to sleep, exhausted. It was not more than 5 minutes later that she aroused me again.
Mortimer, is that register on?
No, my love.
Well, it's freezing in here. Please turn it on at once.
I got up in the dark so as not to wake little Penelope, then turned the darn thing back on again, but as I was returning to bed, I had a collision with the rug and woke the child. Stumbling back again, I stepped on the cat, who let out a hideous howl, and I automatically kicked out at it, connecting instead with the chair. I let out my own piteous moan and turned on the light to survey the damage to my throbbing metatarsal.
Now you've done it, Mortimer. Not only have you woken the child, but you've terrorized the cat. And look at that poor chair.
But look at my poor foot.
Well, you have only yourself to blame. It wouldn't have happened if you hadn't tried to kick the poor kitty across the room.
Can we just drop it and get some sleep? Somehow I managed to get another 15 minutes of sleep before my wife woke me again.
Mortimer, it's still freezing in here. I'm trying to give our poor child more medicine and apply some goose grease, but it's so cold I can't apply it properly.
I got up and started the fire, then sat down disconsolate. Mrs. McWilliams tried to coax me back to bed, but a wood fire is not a permanent thing. I had to renew it every 20 minutes, so I spent the rest of the night sleeping fitfully in the chair and renewing the fire periodically. Every once in a while the child would cough a bit, and Mrs. McWilliams would whirl into a flurry of activity, feeding the poor girl some more medicine, reapplying goose grease, adding flaxseed poultices, and adding or taking away bedclothes from the child, depending on her changing perception of the room temperature. Finally, I must have passed out from exhaustion, my strength gone and my soul worn out. It was broad daylight when I felt a grip on my shoulder that brought me suddenly to my senses. My wife was glaring down at me and gasping.
It's all over. The child is perspiring. What shall we do?
Maybe we should scrape off the goose grease and cool the place down again. It's burning up in here.
Idiot, there's not a moment to lose. Go get the doctor. Tell him he must come, dead or alive.
I made my way to the doctor's house, dragged the poor sick man out of bed, and brought him to little Penelope's bedside. He took one look at the child and said she was not dying, which seemed to me like it was good news, but it made Mrs. McWilliams angry, as if it was a slap across the face. The doctor said the child's cough was caused by some trifling irritation of the throat. At this, he gave her a tincture that sent her into a spasm of coughing, and she coughed up a little splinter of wood. He said,
"This is not Membraneous, Coup. The child is chewing on a pine shingle or something and got a sliver in her throat. No harm done."
"No," I said, "I'm sure it hasn't hurt her a bit. In fact, I understand that the turpentine in them is actually good for certain sorts of diseases. My wife would tell you so." but she didn't say anything. She turned and left the room, and we've never referred to the incident again, thus ensuring that our days flow by in deep and untroubled serenity.